Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. 6th gold medal for India at the Paris Paralympics 2024. Tokyo silver medalist Praveen Kumar wins gold in the men's high jump T64 final. Total medal tally reaches 26. PM Modi launches water conservation public participation initiative in Gujarat. Says we must adopt the mantra of reduce, reuse, recharge and recycle to secure the nation's water future. NATO chief urges China to stop supporting Russia's war in Ukraine. Ukraine presses for long-range strike support. US announces more aid. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida hold bilateral talks in Seoul. Both leaders discuss ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation. Well, great news coming in for India from Paris Paralympics. India gets its 6th medal at Paralympics as India's Praveen Kumar bags gold medal in men's high jump T64 category, clearing 2.08 meters to claim his 2nd consecutive Paralympic medal. Praveen had previously secured silver at the 2021 Tokyo Paralympics with a personal best of 2.07 meters, marking a remarkable continuation of his success on the international stage. The 21-year-old athlete from Noida, Uttar Pradesh, became only the 2nd Indian after Mariyappan Thangavelu to win gold in Paralympic high jump competitions. This is a great news as far as Paralympics is concerned. Indeed, that's a great news. This is what we are getting you from Paris Paralympics 2024. Praveen Kumar has bagged gold in the T64 category in high jump, and this is, for our viewers, is the best ever performance by India in Paralympics. The Indian Paralympics are certainly flying high, and we are joined by our correspondent Narayan Singh from Newsroom. Hello Narayan, certainly a very good news as far as Paris Paralympics 2024 is concerned for the Indian athletes, for the para-athletes in fact. Great news, Praveen Kumar bagging gold in T64 category, and this certainly goes on to show that if you have zeal and grit and a determination to do something in life, then nothing is impossible. Narayan.
Definitely, Siddharth, if you talk about the determination and the grit of our athletes is unmatchable, considering the fact that the Indian para sports is on an upward trajectory. Last time there were 5 gold medals at the Tokyo Paralympics, and this time around we have crossed that thing. In itself, it's the biggest achievement, we can say that, not only for the Indian para sports, but for the Indian sports. If you take a look, the trajectory of the progress of the Indian para sports, let's get started from the London Paralympics, where India won 1 medal, and after that in the Rio, Indian para athletes won 4 medals. At the Tokyo, 19 medals were there, and this time around till now it's the 26th number of medals won by the Indian athletes and the 5 golds. It's we can say that it's a watershed moment in the Indian sports. The kind of performance our athletes or para-athletes have delivered, we can say that it shows that the steady progress in our para sports arena. If you take a look at the stories of these athletes, they face adversity, they struggled in their life, but they also showed that when there are adversity and struggle, that is not the end of the road. Through the determination, through your hard work, through your grit, you can change it to an opportunity, and these athletes have done exactly that thing.
Definitely, Narayan, you said it right, that struggle is just the beginning, it's not the end. And you mentioned about the para-athletes on wheelchairs, Narayan. It's not a wheelchair, it's a wheelchair for our India's para athletes. Narayan, credit certainly goes to the government as well, who's providing everything which these para athletes need, from nutrition to their coaching, and some initiatives like TOPS, which are helping athletes in different manners in a very dynamic way. And the result is certainly we are seeing, and now Praveen Kumar bagging gold. So top scheme, government's assistance towards para athletes and respect towards para athletes. You see, every time they're winning a medal, there is one or the other tweets coming from Prime Minister and from other union ministers as well, showing that how much they respect our para athletes and how much they want them to grow in another Olympics and another tournaments coming in future, Narayan.
Definitely, we can say that there is no denying that our athletes or para-athletes are doing a lot of hard work. They are doing their job with dedication and determination. But the support from the system, especially from the sports ministry, is, we can say that, through their various schemes like TOPS and various facilities, the pocket allowance they are getting. They are not worried about how they will earn their money. They are getting the monthly pocket money to travel wherever they are traveling. They are getting allowances, their expenditure. They are also getting the financial support for their tools, for their tours, for their travels. And most important thing that here I want to mention, that it's not only about the infrastructure they are getting. It's all not about the support through the various equipments or various medical science schemes they are getting, but the emotional support that they are getting from the system. That is the most important. The way you mentioned that the PM Modi tweets for the athletes when they are winning, even they are not winning, sometimes there are heartbreaks. In that scenario also, he always there to encourage them. So this shows that always the system is with them, and that's why our athletes are performing. And the
government is with them, and the assistance they are getting is just incredible. Thank you so much, Narayan, for updating us with those, the medal tallies and how the government is, doing for our para athletes. Thank you. Moving on now. A unique campaign of water conservation and nature conservation is going on in India with public participation and public movement. Country's Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari initiative in state of Gujarat on Friday. Emphasizing the need to ensure water security, Prime Minister Modi said that the government is committed to fulfill this purpose through the means of water conservation. While addressing the event, Prime Minister said water conservation, nature conservation are part of India's cultural consciousness. He added that it is not just a matter of policies but also of social commitment.
जल संरक्षण, प्रकृति संरक्षण, ये हमारे लिए कोई नए शब्द नहीं है, ये हमारे लिए किताबी ज्ञान नहीं है। ये हालात के कारण हमारे हिस्से आया हुआ काम भी नहीं है। ये भारत की सांस्कृतिक चेतना का हिस्सा है। हम उस संस्कृति के लोग हैं जहां जल को ईश्वर का रूप कहा गया है, नदियों को देवी माना गया है, सरोवरों को, कुंडों को देवालय का दर्जा मिला है। गंगा हमारी मां है, नर्मदा हमारी मां है, गोदावरी और कावेरी हमारी मां है। ये रिश्ता हजारों वर्षों का है। हजारों वर्ष पहले भी हमारे पूर्वजों को जल और जल संरक्षण का महत्व पता था।
The World Bank has announced an ambitious plan to provide affordable electricity to 300 million people across Africa by 2030. In partnership with the African Development Bank, the World Bank will bring electricity to an additional 50 million people. India has the third largest capacity in solar energy storage and is taking strident steps in clean energy. The World Bank signed an MOU with the International Solar Alliance headquartered in India to use the platform to help meet the challenge of one sun, one world, one grid. As campaigning for the upcoming assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir gains momentum, India's Home Minister and senior BJP leader released the Sankalp Patra of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Jammu. Speaking on the occasion, Amit Shah said that 10 years from 2014 to 2024 have been great for Jammu and Kashmir, with peace, prosperity and development being the hallmarks of this period.
2014 से लेकर 2024 का एक कालखंड, जब भी जम्मू कश्मीर और भारत का इतिहास लिखा जाएगा, जम्मू कश्मीर के लिए स्वर्णिम अक्षरों से अंकित किया जाएगा, ऐसा मेरा बहुत स्पष्ट मानना है। ये 10 साल जम्मू कश्मीर के लिए शांति और विकास के 10 साल रहे, सुशासन के 10 साल रहे। ये 10 साल में टेररिज्म की जगह मैक्सिमम टूरिज्म पर शिफ्ट हुआ है।
Indian industry has to play a key role in the national security, feel experts. India is aiming at 2047 to become a developed nation. DD India correspondent Vishal Baristo caught up with Saurabh Bansal from Ernst & Young to find out more.
In the constantly changing geopolitical situation, homeland security is a very big issue. And if India is to become a developed nation by 2047, then industry has to play a very big role. I have with me Mr. Saurabh Bansal from Ernst & Young. Let's talk to him and find out.
I think I see this as two sides to the same coin. And with the vision which we have for Viksit Bharat and we want to become a developed nation, industry has to play a critical role. While our internal security agencies are already stretched with the new age crimes emerging and the high expectations set by the people, industry with their technological innovation and collaborative methodology can really contribute to building this vision and achieving it.
One last question. AI is the buzzword. So how can industry use the artificial intelligence as far as homeland security is concerned? Because all the issues are interconnected. Unless we are secured, how can we become developed?
So artificial intelligence has already started seeding multiple projects in homeland security. If you see today, all the surveillance cameras are equipped with AI-based video analytics, which are helping us maintain safe cities. A lot of our police automation projects are built on AI. And the base of most of the projects is now based on AI. But still there's a long way to go. AI can reduce the amount of manpower required, increase the safety and security factor in India, and also give us newer use cases which will prevent crime and which will help build a safe and secure nation.
There you heard from the man from Ernst & Young. He says that there is still a long way to go, but yes, industry is very much required as far as homeland security is concerned, and we can't be a secured and developed nation without this equal support from the industry. With cameraman Jagmohan in Delhi, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
India's Minister for Information and Broadcasting and Electronics and IT, Ashwini Vaishnav, is in Tokyo, Japan. The INB minister held a meeting with the Japanese Minister for Digital Transformation, Taro Kono, and discussed ways to strengthen India-Japan digital ties with focus on futuristic technological advancements. In a meeting with the Managing Director and Chairman of Japan Bank for International Cooperation, the Indian minister held talks on the progress under the India-Japan Strategic Partnership. The two also exchanged views on key areas of cooperation between both nations. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Dreadful fire in a school in central Kenya burned 17 students beyond recognition. Earth endures its hottest summer on record for the second straight year. And we show you Ralph Lauren's Spring 2025 collection.
How it stands at the forefront of this energy transition, offering a clean, versatile solution to decarbonize sectors that have long relied on fossil fuels.
Green hydrogen is actually produced when you use renewable energy to power the electrolyzer, which splits water into hydrogen and oxygen.
Green hydrogen has a very, very critical role to play because it allows us to start getting into solutions that work for a lot of the other energy consuming sectors.
India has some of the brightest people in the world and the visibility that the government has given in terms of national mission and side programs. So I think others will find the same reasons to invest and grow deeper in building their products.
You're watching DDNA Live. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Ukraine has issued increasingly forceful and public calls to provide more help to protect its skies from Russian aircraft and drones following intense aerial strikes. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Germany attending the meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group of Allies at the Ramstein Air Base. Chairing the meeting, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the Washington will provide $250 million in a new military aid for Ukraine as Kyiv faces advancing Russian forces in the east and devastating strikes by Moscow.
The United States is working with Ukraine to design and build a substitute for the S-300 surface-to-air missile system and the R-27 air-to-air missile. The United States has also allocated more than $200 million to purchase critical components to let Ukraine produce the UAVs and the electronic warfare systems that it has deployed so effectively. Our national armaments directors are working in lockstep with the capability coalitions to meet these needs and speed up deliveries.
While Zelensky, sitting beside him, said Kyiv needs much stronger fleet of F-16 fighter jets in critical circumstances. He added that significantly a number of air defense systems were pledged but are not delivered yet. He stressed on the need for strong decisions on long-range strikes to bring a just peace closer.
The world has enough air defense systems to ensure that Russian terror does not have results. And I urge you to be more active in this work with us on air defense. We need to have this long-range capability not only on the occupied territory of Ukraine, but also on the Russian territory. Yes, so that Russia is motivated to seek peace.
German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has come in support of Ukraine and said that Germany will deliver an additional 12 self-propelled howitzers to Ukraine. Speaking on the sidelines of the ongoing Ukraine Defense Contact Group meeting, Pistorius interacted with the reporters at the U.S. Air Base Ramstein on Friday. He reaffirmed the country will support Ukraine as long as it is necessary. Ahead of the gathering, the UK announced it would send Ukraine a package of 650 air defense missiles. The Defense Ministry said this in keeping with the new government's commitment to speed deliveries of aid to Ukraine. The first batch of missiles announced on Friday were expected to arrive by the end of the year. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg on Friday warned that Beijing's support to Russia is fueling the Ukraine conflict and has called on China to stop supporting Russia any further. He also emphasized that the quickest way to end the conflict is to provide weapons to Ukraine.
And China has become a decisive enabler of Russia's war against Ukraine. Through its non-limits partnership and support for Russia's defense industrial base. I call on China to stop supporting Russia's illegal war. China cannot continue to fuel the largest military conflict in Europe without this impacting Beijing's interests and reputation. Ukraine needs more military support now. The quickest way to end this war is to provide weapons to Ukraine.
Update on ground situation now. Ukraine now controls around 100 settlements in Russia's Kursk region. Informing about this, Ukrainian president said Kyiv's incursion into Kursk has proven to be a tactical success.
Today we control an area of more than 1,300 square kilometers in the Kursk region, and this includes 100 settlements. A significant part of this territory was abandoned by Russian troops. They simply fled when they saw our forces approaching. Of course, a significant part of the territory was taken under control by our forces in the battles. So far, during the first month of our operation in the Kursk region, the Russian forces have lost about 6,000 soldiers killed and wounded.
Ukraine has meanwhile said Russian forces have been unable to make any advances in the key Pokrovsk sector for 6 consecutive days. Kyiv's remarks contradict Russian President Vladimir Putin's claim that the incursion had no effect on Moscow's operations. An update from Russian strikes on Ukraine now. At least 5 were injured in recent attack on Lviv. A team of 32 firefighters had put out the fire and the governor reported no injuries during the attack. Various overnight attacks in the central region injured 2 people, damaged over 12 homes and impacted power lines and gas pipelines. Ukraine's Air Force said it shot down 27 out of 44 Russia-launched drones, with 8 more likely downed by the electronic warfare tools overnight. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida held bilateral talks in Seoul on Friday. Focusing on maintaining positive momentum in relations with Japan, South Korean President said that mending ties with Japan for security cooperation remains top priority. During the summit, PM Kishida underscored the need to enhance bilateral ties between both countries. This is Kishida's last tour as PM before he steps down from his position later this month. He will return to Japan on Saturday.
There are various historical and emotional ties between Japan and South Korea, but it's crucial that we continue the efforts of our predecessors who overcame difficult times and worked together with South Korea towards the future.
I am pleased to reflect on the achievements made by both South Korea and Japan and discuss the future direction of our bilateral relations. Over the past year and a half, the relationship between our 2 countries has greatly improved based on the strong trust between the 2 of us. The accomplishments we have achieved together, Prime Minister, have been among the most significant since I took office as President.
Shifting focus to France, far-right leader Michel Barnier was named as new Prime Minister on Thursday. Barnier started consulting all sides to cobble together a government capable of mustering a majority in parliament after 2 months of political deadlock. He said education, security and immigration control will be his priorities, along with an aim to deal country's financial debt. And in a horrific incident, 17 students lost their lives in a school fire in central Kenya on Friday. There are fears that the death toll could rise as more than a dozen others have been taken to hospital with severe burns. The cause of the fire at Hillside and Doordarshan Primary in Nyeri County is not yet known. President William Ruto called the fire horrific and devastating and has ordered an investigation. A team of investigators has been deployed to the school. School fires are relatively common in Kenyan boarding schools. In 2017, 10 students died in an arson attack at Moi Girls High School in the capital, Nairobi. At least 67 students died in Machakos County, southeast of Nairobi, in the deadliest Kenyan school arson that took place more than 20 years ago. The 2024 northern summer saw the highest global temperatures ever recorded, beating last year's record and making this year likely to be Earth's hottest ever. The data from the Copernicus Climate Change Service followed a season of heat waves around the world that scientists said were intensified by human-driven climate change. The June and August global temperature broke through the level of 1.5 Celsius above the pre-industrial average, a key threshold for limiting the worst effects of climate change. Human-caused greenhouse gas emissions are warming the planet, raising the likelihood and intensity of climate disasters such as droughts, fires and floods. Well, the iconic American clothing brand Ralph Lauren's Spring 2025 collection makes a debut in star-studded event in Bridgehampton. The brand showcased designs from its Spring 2025 Ralph Lauren collection, Purple Label and Polo Ralph Lauren lines across men, women and children in a beautiful runway show. Along with this, a new luxury handbag, the Ralph also made a debut, inspired by Lauren's passion for cars. You can go and buy that bag if you like it. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.